is Jack Burke, and today I'll be giving an oral presentation on Quakerism and the impact it had on the New World or America. So I'll start off with William Penn. William Penn's father was owed a huge debt by the current King of England at the time, King Charles II, and because of this, when he passed away, that debt was passed down to his son, William Penn, who ended up being given a massive land grant in the New World. So William Penn decided, I'm going to take this land and create a almost religious refugee of sorts and help out those who are being unfairly religiously persecuted. So a group that really applied to was the Quakers. The Quakers back in England were considered to be religious dissenters and by the Church of England, who was supported by the government. And because of this, they often ended up on the wrong side of the law. And I believe the statistic was that 3/4 of all Quaker men that came to the New World had been in prison back in England at some point in their lives. So another reason they often ended up on the wrong side of the law was that they were massive pacifists. They did not believe in conflict of any sort. So when they believed that the taxes they were paying were going towards supporting the military or supporting war, they wouldn't pay them, which got them on the wrong side with the government. Another thing about Quakers is that they believed in equality, and they were some of the first to do so at the time. So in their colonies in the New World, such as New Jersey or Pennsylvania, the women there had more freedom than almost anywhere else in the world, which is very progressive thinking and nudged America in the right direction, I believe. So also going off of the equality was their beliefs on slavery. They were some of the first to support the abolishment of slavery. But at first they did own slaves, but then a small group of Quakers got together and kind of like, this goes against our beliefs, and started encouraging others to free their slaves. And this resulted in almost all the Quakers being in support of the abolishment of slavery and being big advocates of that. So a quote that I think sums that up well would be said in John Woolman's journal. He said that, or he was talking to a shopkeeper, and he stated that he believes slaveholding to be a practice inconsistent with the Christian religious, which again I believe sums it up very well. So another thing about the Quakers is that Philadelphia was one of their biggest cities, and it was also one of the biggest cities in the New World, and it was one of the most important as well. So that was a big part in pushing America towards success. So let's see here. The Quakers are also known as the Society of Friends. I forgot to mention that. And then, so once they had established their colony in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania and New Jersey, they started advertising using things such as pamphlets to England and places all around the world to try and get people to come to their colony and improve it as well. So because of their religious freedom there and their lack of religious persecution and just their overall success there, many farmers and artisans began flocking to Pennsylvania and assisting them. The Quakers pushed for many things, such as improved conditions of prisons and insane asylums, as well as educational reform and the abolishment of slavery, as I mentioned before. They believed that the conditions in places such as the insane asylums were unfair and that no one should be forced to live in those conditions. They began pushing for the betterment of those living conditions, which is very important. And then they also believed in, like, if you went to, say, you were a citizen living in England and you decided to come to Pennsylvania, you would be given a certain amount of land, and then you also had better voting rights. Like, the voting rights there were much more progressive and much more in tune with, or much closer to what we have today. So Quakers are just very progressive thinkers, and I believe that their state of mind has kind of continued on in today and has pushed us towards a better society as a whole. And I'd say that basically sums up the Quakers' involvement in the New Worlds and its development. And if you have any questions, just message me. I'll do my best to answer it. And yeah.